Hello folks, it's Simon Miklos here again. I just wanted to go a little deeper, since I have a little bit of time, into my truck and my car, and then at the end of the video I'll get into this sassy pants piece of magic over here. But we'll start with my prized possession. Now this truck is actually not legally mine. That car is legally mine, I pay for it. This truck is legally my father's. However, I get to use it, when I want. I get to do it what I want with it. So I guess you could call it mine. But I guess we'll start here with the rust. This truck came from Minnesota. It's a 1992 model. So now I live in Texas. As you can see on my Mustang, there's no issue with rust down here. So I think we really got this truck down here just in time. But as you can see from down here, the exhaust is held up with a coat hanger because that little mounting piece right there broke clean off the exhaust and ripped a hole in it. And in fact, there's so much rust on this exhaust that there's holes everywhere, and it's a stinky ride to say the least. Now, as you can see by these leaf springs, this is a half-ton truck. It's not a quarter-ton, which I think is badass. Now, there used to be a tailgate here, but God knows what happened to that. Now it just rusted off and fell off like everything else on the truck. But this camper here, I'm actually getting ready to take to the dump along with that boat. Now I'll make sure I get all that in a video at some point, but this camper was not on the truck when I bought it. I actually picked this up from a junkyard for $10, just because I was staying the night at a party. I figured I could just throw a mattress in here and sleep it out, which completely worked, except for the fact that there's holes in the roof and that window back there isn't closed and there's no glass here. But it's a steal for $10. What did I expect? Now this bumper has seen more abuse than a football player's girlfriend, I tell you. This thing is pulled 4,000-pound old Pontiacs, it's pulled other trucks, it's pulled stumps. This thing's pulled just about everything under the sun. And I know you're like, oh, you should get a sledgehammer and pound that back. Well, this truck runs, and yeah, it's clapped out. And yeah, I'll be pulling more stuff with it. So there ain't no use in pounding it back into place when it's just gonna get pulled out of place again. Now these chains here are actually holding up the spare tire mount because the bolts for those left this world years ago. But I found this minty old chain laying around and I figured, hey, that would work. And it has worked. But this truck does come with 2 gas tanks, which would be great if my dad didn't fucking back over a pole and crush the filling tube. So this tank does work, but you have to fill it so slow that it doesn't even pay. And I don't drive this truck that often, so I really just fill the preliminary tank here. And as you can see, my dad is not a careful driver. You can look at my car and there are no scratches, but this truck has seen some life. Now this truck does have 3 of these dome-style hubcaps, and it is missing this one. Presumably also from my dad's reckless driving. But that's no big deal to me. Now, I can't give my dad all the reckless credits. This truck does not have an AC compressor because someone, being yours truly, destroyed it doing first gear pulls. So I guess, word to the wise, 25-so-odd-year-old air compressors do not like first gear pulls. AC compressors, fucking whatever. But let's go inside here. This interior is just fucking nice. We've got the windows that don't break because they're not electric pieces of shit. We got one of my favorite accessories, the smoker's window. Oh yeah, baby. Getting all the chicks with that one. I've got a window cover here. I've got these back seats. I don't know quite what Ford called it, but they're just the seats that face each other because my second cousin actually had this truck custom built in Minnesota so that he could haul bricks for his union job and also haul his kids around and his wife. So this truck is the ultimate family and work vehicle, except for that gas guzzling 351. But I'm not complaining. Who can argue with the sound of a 351? But this thing's still got tunage, I think. Oh! Hey! I've even got presets! How cool! Well, of course the AC doesn't work. Now I know a lot of you guys are like serious about this. The cigarette lighter does work, and this truck actually even comes with a separate power point, I guess. I mean, that's what it says on there, so this is what I'm gonna call it. In the glove box, we got your basic extra fuses, some gloves, some battery terminal wire. Oh yeah, that's hot. Here in the center console, I keep a bandana for sweat because there's no AC, and jumper cables and a tow strap, so I'm generally prepared for what happens on the road, but not always. That's life. But now I guess we can move on to my Mustang here. I actually hate this car, but it does have an AC compressor, and it is my daily driver, even though that 3.8 liter V6 is a pile of shit. I mean, Jesus Christ. But let's look inside here. We've got these sun-cracked leather seats. Speedometer that only goes to 120. Oh yeah, there it is. Now, as you can see right here, Ford did not build their stuff very good in 2003. I think the general 2000s were a bad time for most auto manufacturers, but this whole center section rattles violently when I'm driving, and it drives passengers in my car crazy. I've gotten used to it because I've been driving this pile for 3 years, but it's just... this car's worth half of what I paid for it, and we've stuck twice as much into fixing all the things that have gone wrong. So I don't personally recommend a Mustang at all, to be honest. Now the one plus is that this car is a convertible. Now the motors don't work, but I mean I can lift the top down with my hands easy enough. But seeing as I'm filming with one of them, I'm going to refrain from doing that. Maybe I'll get a video later of me doing some shenanigans top down. And when I say shenanigans, it means shit's gonna get real. But oh yeah. Now this minty old treat over here, this is the truck that I grew up in. My dad drove this truck through the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. It got him through a lot of bad times, and I spent a lot of my childhood riding in this truck, learning and driving this truck. Now, it's been sitting for about 7 years. We think it's either got something to do with a vacuum leak or the carb needs to be rebuilt. It's probably all of the above, really. But there's some greasy old motor oil sitting up here, so I'm not going to open the hood today. But you will see this truck being worked on because I plan to have this running by winter. But it's got a slant 6 in there. It's a Chrysler motor, and those motors are known for being pretty hard to kill. So I've got confidence that this truck will come back real quick. And the best part about it is these seats. I mean, just look at them. Red leather, I mean, not too bad condition seeing that this door doesn't actually shut. But, just beautiful. I love the interior of this old truck. I've got to prop this piece up there because that door doesn't shut. But right now, it's kind of just storage. It's got that flat tire. I need to drain the fuel out, check the fuel tank, blow the lines, rebuild the carb, and probably replace all the vacuum lines. I've already done a lot of work on it, and none of it fixed it, so I'm narrowing down my options very slowly. But, yeah, that's about all I got for today. I think I'm going to load that boat up there, and I'll be making another video for you guys shortly. Thank you so much, and have a grand fucking day. Peace out.